Okay, stock charts, let's get into it. We're going to use technical analysis. We're not going to use FOMO. We're not going to just jump into the hot trade. We're going to look at the charts, read what the charts are telling us, and use technical analysis to find positions and trade ideas. Okay, we're going to start out here with RIOT. Obviously, the Bitcoin trade has been, in full speed ahead, and we're looking at RIOT now. So RIOT's kind of a Bitcoin proxy stock, RIOT blockchain. Trade idea that I found here is if you look at the daily, we've got this uptrend. This is really where RIOT started to take off just vertically. And, from the lows back in the March 2020 lows, this thing's up about 10,000%. So, again, pretty crazy mania. But now I'm looking for this thing to start to unwind. And here's what I like about it. Daily chart, walking up the trend line. We broke trend right here. And we came in we're coming in for a back test of that broken trend line right about now. So yeah, we might have a little higher to go. It might kind of creep higher a little bit, but I think we're in the area where we're likely to get rejected. Looking at the daily, we do have negative divergence. It is, it's not confirmed yet because obviously you see the PPO, it's just pointed straight up. And the RSI is pointed up as well. So any higher and we'll burn through that negative divergence. But if we get rejected right here at this resistance, then these will turn down and confirm. So I'm looking for that, something to watch out for. And here's my trading platform, Lightspeed Trader. I use a desktop trader, so I pay commissions based on per share. It's an active trading platform, but again, my order flow doesn't get sold to a hedge fund, and I get very quick execution where I can send my orders directly to an exchange. So just something to look at. It's not for everyone, but again, this is, the 1 minute chart, and you can see RIOT. I've been watching it. Now we've got this trend line right here is kind of what we've been rocking up. And then just in the last minute, we saw this impulsive break, a little kickback, and now we're starting to break. So we'll watch that. But I think this sell-off might be underway. We'll see if it picks up speed. I want to point out this one, Digital Turbine APPS. Now, it doesn't have a sell signal, but it's something to watch. What I like about it for this to start to roll over, and this one's been very bullish. It's been on a tear. Well, eventually that run has to come to an end, and that's what I look for is when these runs start to come to an end, you jump on that reversal point, and that's when you get the most value. So, coming off the March 2020 lows, we've been walking up this upward trend line. We created this bearish rising wedge. It's really, you could do it something like that, but basically you got this bearish rising wedge. We've traded to the upper end, kind of broken out to the upside of the bearish rising wedge. And usually this is a low probability area where they break it up. This is where the institutions can start to sell their positions, take profits, and then we break down all the way through. So I'd just be watching for a break of this lower trend line. It's a little ways away, but just keep an eye on that one. Also on the daily, negative divergence right there and negative divergence there. So all of this price action really started about right here, but this is all divergent high price action. So we're just looking now for a change in trend and a sell signal, which would be a break of this trend line right there. Quick look at the Qs. Nothing's changed really over the last few days. We're just kind of in this grind session where we're just making slightly new highs, but not really going anywhere. Basically, the last really all week, the range has been pretty tight. It's about a 1% range from high to low all week. And it's, we're just kind of grinding. So just keep an eye on that. Nothing changed there. SPY, same deal. You can see once we hit that blue resistance line right there, we've really gone nowhere. So we just continue to kind of tread water, and there's no move that tells me which direction this wants to go yet. So if we break higher, I'm going to be looking for that to either hold or, and if we break higher, I think it's going to be just a whipsaw. I think we're going to break higher and then fail. But that's something to watch for. If we break higher, do we fail? If we don't fail and continue to hold and start to move higher, that's pretty bullish. If we fail, obviously, I think we're at the top of the market. All right, TLT, this is your long Treasury bond. Two interesting developments on this one. So TLT is the 30-year Treasury, 20-plus year Treasury bond, but the long end of the curve, making a new low today. So the yield curve is steepening. It's continuing to steepen. So interest rates on the 10-year are going higher. Today we made a new divergent low. You can see here on the daily, we have a new low in price, and yet we're making it's still bullish divergence. And so we're looking for this to hold. I'm not trading this. I'm going to look for other trades, but it's something to watch. Making a new high in rates, interest rates. So going back here on TNX, look here on the daily. This is when the Fed started cutting rates in the COVID crash. And so we've been dropping. Interest rates have been falling for the entire, since March of 2020, basically. And zooming in, you got this downward trend line, and we just broke to the upside. Now it's not impulsive, so again, it's not a believable breakout yet. But if interest rates continue higher from here, we should start to see some changes in the market dynamics. Whether that's pressure on the stock market, there's lots of things that could come about from higher interest rates. But watch this basically. If we continue higher, then we're going to watch for some pivots in the market and try to jump on board. Peloton here, they're spiking it. This is what Peloton likes to do. I've noticed it kind of does nothing and then just randomly it just spikes. And that's what they're doing today. You can see spiking it right into the resistance line right here about 152.60. We've had this is the fourth tag of that trend line resistance. So that's where it's at today. Looking at the daily, we've got negative divergence that really was put into place back here. And this also was a divergent high right in here. And since that last divergent high, which was right in here, we've trended down. You can see the trend since the divergent high is down. Now, yes, if you look all the way back to March, that was an uptrend, but that doesn't necessarily mean that this uptrend is just going to continue. Eventually, the trend is going to change, and I think that's what these divergent highs just told us, is that the trend is changing, and now we're seeing a downtrend. I suspect this downtrend continues. All right, Tesla just kind of hanging in there. You can see today they're just battling with this 800. It's about 801, 800 level. Looking at the hourly here, it's been a battle for a while. So it's still holding, and we'll see how the day closes. If we start to reject, look for it to impulsively start to roll over. Otherwise, 800's the level to really watch. If you look at the daily here on Tesla, this thing's had negative divergence for quite a while. Really, all of this price action has been divergent highs. So again, that's why divergence is not a reason to just short. When you have divergence, you don't just get short because you see a divergence. It just tells you, okay, this trend is running out. This trend is running out of steam. Look for a change in trend. All right, and how do we find a change in trend? Well, we look for breaks of trendline support. You look for higher, lower lows, lower highs. There's all kinds of signs. You look for various candlesticks, dojis, reversal candlesticks. There's things that you look for that will signal that the trend is starting to reverse. That's kind of what you were looking for. Again, 800 on Tesla is really what I'm looking for on that one to break. Some of these gold miners are starting to look interesting for a long trade. And anybody that's been following this channel knows that I've been interested in Barrick Gold. Again, I was buying Barrick Gold all the way back here, down around $9. I was buying it all through here basically, and it was my largest position at one point in time. We rode it all the way up, and on this COVID drop, I added to the position. During that time, it looked like forced liquidation to me, where all of a sudden everyone was being forced to sell their gold miners, even though it was in a bull market. So I added to the position, and I sold my Barrick Gold right here on this day, right there, at about 28.40. And I haven't really been involved with Barrick too much for the last, since then basically, and that's going all the way back to April of 2020. So all this time, about 300 days, so almost a year. But now it looks like Barrick's setting up for the next leg higher. Let me show you what I see here. So recently we've created this bullish falling wedge here. And we're looking at a daily chart. So bullish falling wedge, and we've just been inching lower in price. But while we're doing that, we have bullish divergence. See the bullish divergence right there, how momentum has actually been moving up while price is kind of inching lower. So I bought some today right here at the tag of that trend line. Ultimately, I'm looking for a breakout. That would be the next buy signal, would be a breakout. But to me, it looks like it's building a base here. I'm building a position along this support and looking for that breakout. Now, gold bullion, I think still is going to go a little lower, but that doesn't mean the miners have to, go lower. The miners sometimes front run gold, so maybe gold goes a little bit lower. The miners kind of hang in here, and then we get the breakout in gold and gold miners. Right now, the level on Barrick's is sitting right about 2250. So really a break above that would be what I'd be looking for. And then, I think we go up to, about the, right around 2550, 2560. We probably get a little bounce or reaction. And the 200-day moving average is sitting right up around there. So looking for that. But ultimately, I'm probably looking for the miners to actually start to make the next leg higher into me what looks like a bull market. See how prices are continuing higher. Let's take a look at corn, some of these ag commodities. So again, the ag commodities have been they've been on fire, but to me it looks like we're going to get some sort of a pullback. Here's what I got in corn. Got lots of lines going on here, but if we just really focus on what we need to focus on is not that one, but focus on this longer term trend. So this trend line right here, you can see that we basically broke out from that trend line right there. There's a nice clean breakout. So I think that's a confirmed breakout of a longer term downtrend. But I'm looking for a back test of that trend line or somewhere down around this $14 area. And that's a pretty sizable drop. From here, that would be a drop of about 15% or so, 15 to 20%. That's what I'm looking for. And then from there, it's likely to hold support and then continue higher. What do I like about that, the potential for that drop? Well, we have a bearish rising wedge on the daily. See the bearish rising wedge? We have negative divergence on the RSI and the PPO. And we've got this trend line to watch right here. We got a reaction there, and we're kind of walking up this trend line right now. So we get a breakdown of that, an impulsive breakdown. I think it'll be a drop down to that area of about 14.25, possibly down to 13.90 or so. And that to me is the buy zone. So I'm looking to probably be buying that down here if we get that breakdown. Another one that looks interesting is coffee, Joe. So we have negative divergence here on the daily, on the RSI, also on the PPO right there. And so this was all divergent high price action up in here. This candle, it doesn't look like a reversal candle. There's no, it's not an outside day or a doji or anything like that. But, it is a pretty impulsive gap higher and then sell off. And we're coming back down to support, which is about 34.90. I'm looking for a break of that support and a move down to about 32.42. For me, that's the buy area on this one. And that's really all I got for this video. I'll just get this one out there. So thanks, everyone. Leave me a thumbs up. Catch you on the next one.